Hello everyone, I am Elvis and I want to welcome you all to the World Challenge Club educational show. Are your brain cells warmed up and ready to work? You will need all your problem-solving skills today to solve our latest challenge. It's construction week at the World Challenge Club, and today we will be exploring how shelters can be constructed. But first, I need to tell you all about the World Challenge Club. If you like making things, doing experiments, and learning interesting facts, then the World Challenge Club is for you. Every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we will have a new challenge for you to complete after the show. To do these challenges, you only need to use things that you can find in your home. For example, card, paper, scissors, tape, or glue. We will show you how you can use these things to invent, solve problems, or explore new ideas. It's also great for the environment and the planet, as many of the things you will use can be recycled. We will teach you any skills that you need to tackle each day's challenge. It may be measuring volumes or weights or carrying out a test in a fair way in size. If anything sounds difficult, don't worry. We have some people here today who will help explain it all. As well as tackling the daily challenge, members of the World Challenge Club can also take part in the World Challenge Club online competition. You can visit the World Challenge Club at worldchallenge.club. If you sign up to the club and remember to check with your parents first, you will be able to see everything that was in the show and check out anything that you may have missed. When you sign up to the World Challenge Club, you will also be able to choose your school and class and join your classmates in tackling the online challenges. Each daily challenge you complete will give you a score. Now, if you do so well in the challenge by testing and improving your solutions, you will get better scores. You can enter your best score into a leaderboard to compare the score with your classmates and with others around the world. You can even compete with certificates and prizes. The theme for this week's challenge is construction, and today's challenge is to make a paper shelter. You will use 2 sheets of paper to make your shelter, and you will test its strength using bottle caps of rice as a measure. We live in an engineered world of factories and houses, towns and cities, roads and railways. But we cannot just make bigger cities and cover more of the land with roads. We need to think about the design and the effects of the things we make on the environment. In the future, people just like you will have new engineering ideas and solutions to help make people's lives better while protecting the planet. Would you like to play a part in making the world a better place? It could be you designing a cleaner city or a new transport system that means no one would ever need a car. Engineers and architects are just some of the people who help make the world a better place by thinking about solving problems like these. Developing and practicing your skills in science, technology, engineering, and maths helps you learn how to solve problems. This lets you turn your dreams and ideas into reality and create amazing new inventions to make people's lives easier, safer, or just more fun. Today's educational show features the work of a world-leading engineering and construction company called Arup. Arup has used the skills of its people to build roads, railways, fantastic bridges, and buildings in over 140 countries around the world. Let's find out a little bit more about Arup and what a modern construction and engineering company does.
Many people around the world use and enjoy our work every day. But sometimes people don't realize how we were involved. The Sydney Opera House is a good example. Its complex roof structure was made possible by our pioneering use of computer analysis and modelling. This project and the many that followed established Arup's reputation for excellence in engineering. Founded in 1946 by philosopher and engineer Ove Arup, we have since grown into a truly multidisciplinary organisation. We have an amazing mix of people with many different talents, working together and learning from each other by sharing their knowledge and ideas.
By the year 2030, 60% of the world's population will live in urban areas. There are already around 1.2 billion passenger vehicles on the road today. By 2030, this figure is projected to reach 1.6 billion. As cities continue to grow, the sustainable transportation of people and goods will become ever more important and complex. For many of today's city dwellers, mobility means stress, congestion, and delays. Getting around can also be unhealthy and even unsafe. If nothing changes, these problems will only get worse. This is why we urgently need to address the social, environmental, and economic challenges facing urban mobility. Our challenge is to upgrade our infrastructure to enable greater choice for those who need to get to their destination quickly, reliably, and cheaply. To do this, we must integrate many different modes of mobility to create a more flexible and seamless user experience. So, what could this future of urban mobility look like? Meet the Osorio family. João, Flavia, Eduardo and their dog Pele live on the outskirts of Rio. Their neighbourhood is a dedicated auto-free zone. Bike lanes and wide tree-lined pavements make walking and cycling safe and convenient. Public transport is cheap, dependable, comfortable and safe. The Osorio family uses their neighbourhood's integrated mobility service, which provides access to a variety of private transport options, including citywide e-scooters, bicycles, and a car-sharing program. Across the world, we want to design solutions for cleaner, healthier, and more livable cities. Join the conversation at www.arup.com.
Amazing! Arup are tackling some really interesting challenges. Challenges like driving across the sea. Arup helped design the world's longest sea crossing. The Hong Kong-Macau Bridge is 55 kilometers long. It takes nearly 3/4 of an hour to drive across it. Can you imagine something that big? It sounds impossible that such a thing could be made, but all it takes is for people to have a dream and then use their skills to make it happen. Can you imagine if it was you that was designing a future mega bridge or inventing ways to make future cities cleaner and more comfortable? World-class design and engineering companies like Arup need people who like nothing more than to use their skills and knowledge to solve big problems. Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics is sometimes called STEM. If you enjoy STEM subjects like science, companies like Arup will be looking for you. What is STEM, and why are skills in these subjects important? Let's find out.
Since prehistoric times, humans have survived and thrived by being able to think and solve problems. How can I find and cook my food? How do I stay safe and healthy? How can I keep warm? Our ability to solve problems like these and share our solutions and inventions with each other are abilities that every one of us has, including you. Over many thousands of years, humans have developed their skills at inventing, improving and fixing things to reach where we are today, and our world full of amazing machines, technologies and ways of connecting with each other.
10, 9, ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We all know the story of the first human on the moon. Just over 50 years ago, many thousands of the brightest minds worked together to achieve that amazing dream. Now imagine the science, engineering and technology required to land a person on the moon. It must have been incredible. Now imagine holding a smartphone in your hand. Did you know there is more computing power, more memory and more capabilities in that small smartphone than in the whole of the rocket that went to the moon? That is the story of STEM. Always improving, always learning, always solving problems. One day it could be you that could be building a space rocket, or designing a new smartphone, or perhaps developing new forms of renewable energy to help people and the planet.
So before the break, let's have a review. Every day, the people working at construction and engineering companies like Arup use their STEM skills. That is skills in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics to help people. They design new buildings, new cities, and modern transport systems so that millions of people can live and work comfortably and safely. Let's talk about comfort and safety for a moment. Do those words remind you of home? Homes are shelters where you are protected and have a space where you can live and play. Shelters protect you from bad weather and keep all important things that you need to live comfortably together in one place. So, back to today's challenge. It is construction week at the World Challenge Club, and today you're going to construct a paper shelter. Do you think paper is a good choice for a shelter? After the break, you'll learn more about the Paper Shelter Challenge and find out if paper is a good choice for a shelter. You will explore 3D shapes and how you can fold paper into boxes, beams, and cones to make the paper stronger. You will experiment and use all these ideas to make the strongest paper shelter that you can make. You will need to test your paper shelter to find its score. Keep a record of the score for your paper shelters. Your best design may even get a top place on the World Challenge Club leaderboard. If you're not yet a member of the World Challenge Club and you have a smartphone, you could sign up and be ready to start earning points to go towards prizes and certificates. I will see you soon after the break.
COVID-19 is an infectious disease caused by a new coronavirus introduced to humans for the first time. It is spread from person to person, mainly through the droplets produced when an infected person speaks, coughs, or sneezes. These droplets can land in the mouths or noses of people who are nearby. These droplets are too heavy to travel far in the air. They only travel approximately 1 meter and quickly settle on surfaces. This is the reason person-to-person spread is happening mainly between close contacts. The exact time that the virus can survive on surfaces is not yet known. So it is wise to clean surfaces regularly, particularly in the vicinity of people infected with COVID-19. Hands touch many surfaces, which can be contaminated with the virus. You should therefore avoid touching your eyes, nose, or mouth, since contaminated hands can transfer the virus from the surface to yourself. When coughing or sneezing, cover your mouth and nose with the bend of your elbow or use a disposable tissue. If a tissue is used, discard it immediately into a closed bin. The most effective way to prevent the spread of the new coronavirus is to clean your hands frequently with an alcohol-based hand rub or soap and water. This will eliminate the virus if it is on your hands. Stay healthy and prevent the spread of COVID-19.
Welcome back. Today's challenge at the World Challenge Club is to make a paper shelter. Let's find out a little more about shelters and how to make one.
A shelter is a place where a living thing can feel safe. Humans have found and made shelters for millions of years. Shelters have enabled humans to travel and live everywhere on Earth, from the cold of the South Pole to the high mountains to baking hot deserts. We still make shelters we can move about today. Can you think of any? Today's challenge is to make and test a shelter made from paper. For this activity, you will need a nice clear space to work. You should use a cutting mat to protect any tables if using sharp tools. And you'll need some scissors, a ruler, a pencil or a pen, some glue or sticky tape or a glue stick if you have one, and some sheets of paper. A4 printer paper is ideal. That's around 20 centimetres wide and 30 centimetres long. You will also need to draw some circles. You can use a compass if you have one, or just draw around the edge of a tin or a plate. To test the strength of your shelters, you'll also need a plastic top of a cola or water bottle and some rice. If we're going to make a shelter, we'll need some people to go in it. Here they are. Our paper family's own home has been badly damaged by a terrible storm, and another storm is on the way. Could you protect them? You can make your own paper family from scrap pieces of paper. Make them about 5 centimetres tall and 1 centimetre wide. Our family will also need some space to move and do things. That is the floor space of your shelter, a 10 centimetre diameter circle. Again, you can use some spare paper to make the floor. Your challenge today is to make sure your paper shelter is strong. In your final design, you can use 2 pieces of A4 paper to make your shelter. That's printer size paper, and some glue or tape to connect the sheets together. It's always good to try and test ideas out first to find the best one. Do you know how to make a cone? To make a cone, You take a circle about the size of a small plate and find the centre. If you've used a compass to mark the circle, you should have a little hole, but you can also find it by gently folding the circle in half 2 times. Now, make a cut from the edge of the circle to the centre. If you now overlap and stick the cut edges, it will form a shallow cone. This cone might not be high enough for your paper family. Now, if you cut a segment from the circle and overlap it, what do you notice? Experiment with different size circles and segment sizes to find a cone that will fit nicely over your paper family and their floor. Is the cone a strong shape? As well as a building's strength, architects need to think about the spaces inside where people move and work, as well as the strength of the building. How much space or volume did your final shelter have inside? Can you make one that's both strong and spacious? If you can, you may be a future architect. Okay, it's time to test our shelter. Make sure our paper family is safely at the side. Get a very light container or fold up some spare paper into a box and rest or hold it gently on top of the shelter. Add bottle caps of rice to the container to see how many bottle caps it takes before the paper shelter begins to fail. Each bottle cap will contain around 5 grams of rice. Add up the number of bottle caps of rice you used and multiply it by 5. That is your score.
You have seen that by folding a flexible 2D material like a sheet of paper into a 3D material can change its strength and help you make stronger things. Shelter shapes may be boxes or cones. Here is Shad from Charismath who will explain more about shapes and how you can use that knowledge to understand how your paper shelter works.
This time you're going to need a piece of string, you'll need a pencil, you'll need a thumbnail, a pair of brackets, and a bar of wood. Now that you have all this, you're all set. Press the thumbnail in onto a surface, take a piece of string that's 3 centimeters long and attach it to a pencil and keep turning it around. Keep turning the pencil around like this until you make a perfect circle with a center. That's your center, and this circle is 6 centimeters wide, and we call that width the diameter of the circle. And take this bar, mark it off, so 6 centimeters here, and make a line 6 centimeters long at the bottom and also on the sides. Make sure it's perfectly straight, both sides, 6 centimeters, and then across 6 centimeters wide. And you have this as the center and a perfect square 6 centimeters by 6 centimeters, which has this green space or the area. And you can measure the area in terms of centimeters squares, remember? Well, if you multiply 6 by 6, you'll get 36 centimeters squares. Question is, what's the area of the circle? Well, if you could remove these green bits in the corner like that, you'll get the area. And what's the area of this green bit, 4 corners? Well, if you take this, a quarter of this square, and measure it, obviously it's 3 by 3, so that's 9 centimeters square. So the area of these 4 green corners is 9 centimeters square. That's what you remove. Take it away from 36 and you have 27 centimeters square as the area of this circle, approximately. There you go. Try it. Try it yourself. Take a pair of brackets, take this line, which is perfectly straight with a string, and must pass through the center. Make sure you do that. That's your diameter. So take this diameter, make a line there, make a line there, on top and on the sides, and you have the perfect square. Take the area of this square, you know it's 40 by 40, that's the area. Now you take a quarter of this square, and that's 20 by 20, because this is half. And so that would be 400 centimeters square. Take that away and you have 1200 centimeters square, the area approximately of this circle. There you go. Okay, let's go back to the first circle. It was 27 centimeters square area, remember? If I move it all the way up to a third dimension, which is 10 centimeters, then it'll have a volume which is measured in centimeter cube. And what's the volume? Base area times the height, which is 27 by 10, and you get 270 centimeter cubes. That's what'll fit into this. Now, here's introducing a new shape, a cone. What's a cone? That's a cone. same base area, same height, meet at this center point on the top. And how many of these cones fit into the cylinder? Surprisingly, you won't believe it. 3 of them. How can you prove that? Well, let's fill this with water. Fill it up all the way to the top. Fill this one up. Fill this one up. And then pour all 3 into this cylinder, and it'll fill it right to the top. Which means the volume of this, which is 270, and the volume of this is 1/3 of this. So you divide 270 by 3, and you get the volume of the cone, which is 90 centimeter cube. And of course, the weight is the same because it's water. This weight will be 270 grams, and the weight of the water in this cone is 90 grams. There you go. You're all set to get to your tasks.
When we get back, Jazz will share with you how he made and tested some paper shelters at his lab. See you after the break.
COVID-19 is an infectious disease caused by a new coronavirus introduced to humans for the first time. It is spread from person to person, mainly through the droplets produced when an infected person speaks, coughs, or sneezes. These droplets can land in the mouths or noses of people who are nearby. These droplets are too heavy to travel far in the air. They only travel approximately 1 meter and quickly settle on surfaces. This is the reason person-to-person spread is happening mainly between close contacts. The exact time that the virus can survive on surfaces is not yet known. So it is wise to clean surfaces regularly, particularly in the vicinity of people infected with COVID-19. Hands touch many surfaces, which can be contaminated with the virus. You should therefore avoid touching your eyes, nose, or mouth, since contaminated hands can transfer the virus from the surface to yourself. When coughing or sneezing, cover your mouth and nose with the bend of your elbow or use a disposable tissue. If a tissue is used, discard it immediately into a closed bin. The most effective way to prevent the spread of the new coronavirus is to clean your hands frequently with an alcohol-based hand rub or soap and water. This will eliminate the virus if it is on your hands. Stay healthy and prevent the spread of COVID-19.
Welcome back to the 3rd segment of the World Challenge Club show. Here is Jazz in his lab to show us how he tackled today's paper shelter challenge.
Hello and welcome to the lab. Today, it's the paper shelter challenge with Jazz. A shelter is a home, so our home will need some people. You can make them out of paper. Make them about 5 centimetres tall and about 1 centimetre wide. They'll need some space to live, so make a circle 10 centimetres across. That will be their floor space. Your shelter must cover the family. When you think you've got your best shelter design, we'll test it. We will put weight on the roof until it collapses. The more weight it can hold, the better your score. You'll need a nice clear space. A compass is useful, some tape, a glue stick, a pair of scissors and a ruler. You'll also need 2 sheets of A4 or printer size paper to build your shelters. Make sure you've got plenty of spare sheets for practicing. Jazz is using a strip of sellotaped paper to make the walls of his shelter.
Like so, and we have got our walls.
I think it needs a roof, Jazz.
To make a nice circle, I'm using a compass. So just draw a circle. Got our building, got our circle.
What do you think of Jazz's roof design? Do you think it's going to be strong enough? By changing the shape of the roof, it can be made stronger.
Just cut a line to the centre point.
By making a cut from the edge of the circle to the middle and then overlapping the cut edges, you form a cone. A cone's a great shape for a roof, very strong.
That's a nice bit there.
Think about all the buildings that you've seen. They come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. Think which features will make your shelter stronger. Try different roof and wall shapes. Jazz is going to test the strength of a cube using bottle caps of rice.
1, 2, 3.
I'm getting the impression we could be here a while. Let's speed things up a bit. It's really surprising how strong a piece of folded paper can be. Are you keeping count?
18, 19, 20.
20 times 5 is 100 grams. That's a lot of weight.
500 gram bag of rice.
Oh, it can't possibly hold that.
Will it go? And it still holds. So we have 1 kilogram of sugar. Onto the house.
So do you think it could take a kilogram? Keep a record of your scores and put the best one on the leaderboard. And remember the rule of the challenge. Your shelter must cover a circle 10 centimetres across.
We are closer to the end of our show, and it's time to review everything before you go and have some fun making your own paper shelter. Remember, there's an online competition you can join too. So what have you learned? You have seen that you can fold and roll a material like paper to make beams that can be really strong. There are many ways that you can make a shelter from a paper, and by using a bottle cap of rice as a measure. You can test the different shelter designs to find the best one. Remember the rules. Use 2 pieces of paper, A4 size or 30 centimeters long and 20 centimeters wide. And make sure your span of shelter is 20 centimeters. Scientists and engineers capture data to help them make their decisions. You should do the same. Keep notes about which shapes and designs of paper shelter work best. Keep a record of your very best score and enter it onto the leaderboard at worldchallenge.club at the very end of the day. If you have not signed up to the World Challenge Club yet, here is how you can. I can't wait to see those scores.
If you want to see anything that was in the show again, go to www.worldchallenge.club. The World Challenge Club will work on any computer, tablet or smartphone that can connect to the internet. There are extra resources there too, so you can learn even more. The World Challenge Club is also a giant competition for hundreds of thousands of students from around the world. To take part in the competition, you'll need to sign up and become a member. You only need to register once, but you must check with a parent or teacher first before you sign up. If you're under 14 years of age, they will need to include their email address too. So go to www.worldchallenge.club and look out for the green register button on a challenge page. Just click it and follow the instructions. You'll be asked to find your school and join a team. When you've signed up, you'll be able to upload your best score for each day's challenge. So after the show, check out the club and get uploading your scores. We can't wait to see how you do on today's challenge.
You have seen how to use the club website, and hopefully you have everything you need to know to have a go at the Paper Shelter Challenge and have some fun. Remember to record your results and enter your best score on the club website at the end of the day. Before we let you go to make some shelters, there are a few people and organizations we must thank. Shad at Charismath made special lessons just for you to help you tackle today's challenge. Remember what you were taught about cones and using bottle cap and rice as a measure. Today's educational show was made possible with the kind support of the Ove Arab Foundation. The Ove Arab Foundation is committed to promoting education and knowledge about design and the built environment. Everybody here at the World Challenge Club are looking forward to seeing your results online. I will see you soon for another challenge. Have fun making and testing things. Bye for now.